following is a paid program. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of WNBU and Interbanks Media. Welcome to All Things Money with David Blain, a thoughtful and revealing discussion of actionable ideas and effective strategies to help you through the complex world of investing, taxes, and real estate. Now, with All Things Money, here's David Blain.
Hello and welcome to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blain. We thank you for joining us today on this Tuesday, November the 6th, Election Day. Of course, the show is recorded, so by the time you hear this, the election results will be in, and we'll know who the next president of the United States will be. I'm not going to get into any predictions. It's a very close race. Each side laying out their case over the past. It seems like ever since President Obama was elected, he's been running for re-election. I certainly, just from a standpoint of looking forward to the whole thing being over, we'll be glad to see. Now, this is a very important election for money. They all are. They're important to the economy, important to investing, important to taxes. There are a lot of sort of things up in the air right now that the next president will have a big say-so. So we're going to talk about some of those things today, as well as talk about meeting with the financial advisors, some other great topics. So we're glad that you joined us today. As always, we like to give out ways to contact us. Our phone number is 252-633-0107. Our email is allthingsmoney@dlblain.com. That's DL, allthingsmoney@dlblain.com. And of course, you can visit us on the web, our website, a wonderful new website with a wealth of information, www.dlblain.com. Big contact us button there. Just hit that. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on the show, topics you'd like to hear covered in the future. Okay, well, let's get right into it. Of course, we want everybody to go out and vote. We hope that you voted and your one vote matters. And now that the election is over, there are some things, a lot of things that have to happen by the end of the year. Depending on who won the election is going to significantly impact, A, whether anything gets done before the end of the year, and B, what exactly the outcomes are. Now, there are some fiscal issues within the federal budget, the sequestration, the automatic budget cuts that are supposed to take place. They're more of a sort of macroeconomic impact, and I certainly have an opinion and would love to discuss those with people. But today we want to focus a little bit more on sort of the micro impacts, some things that are going to affect you as an individual. And of course, the largest thing that the federal government impact on its citizens is its taxation policy. It's one of the largest impacts that they have, which is why it's so big and why politicians are so loath to go to something like a flat tax or a fair tax, is because they give up so much power, the ability to tailor the tax code to try to get you to do what they want, as well as to target and tax certain groups of and types of people. So we're going to talk about some tax. I identified, I don't know, there must be 14 or 15 different tax rules that we need to keep an eye on, that Congress has to do something between now and the end of the year, or possibly retroactively but these are some of the major things that are up in the air. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of what the issue is, what it means to you as the individual, and then we'll sum it up with maybe a little bit of a prediction on my part. Not literally a prediction, but kind of the way things are leaning, what the result may or may not be depending on who wins the election. So the number one thing we'll start off with, these are not necessarily any order of importance, they're just kind of how they're written out here, is the payroll tax holiday. And by that, what we mean is that the Social Security tax on salary has been reduced the past couple of years by 2%, and the this reduction is scheduled to end next year. So instead of paying 6.2% Social Security, people have been paying 4.2% into Social Security. So in effect, their take-home pay has gone up by a little bit. The tax ceiling is supposed to go up to $113,700 next year, and for this year it's $110,100. So 2% of that was $2,202, or a working couple $4,404. So the most that a working couple, if both spouses made $110,000 or more, the most they could save was $4,404. Anyway, so this reduction in the Social Security tax is scheduled to go away next year and go back to the original 6.2%. Now, of course, I think they're going to extend this no matter who wins the election, whether it's Obama or Romney. I think they will extend that. It's certainly long-term not the smartest thing for the solvency of Social Security, but it's what politicians do, and they sort of hand out money. And of course, you know, the cash in the hands of recession-battered consumers, you know, might be beneficial. Now, remember, the people out of work don't benefit from this. So if you don't have a job and you're not earning anything, there's nothing withheld from your pay anyway. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy, but this is helping, you know, people that are working. I think it'll get extended either way. All right, the so-called Bush tax cuts on ordinary income. The current tax brackets are 10, 15, 25, 28, 33, and 35. Next year it's scheduled to go to 15%, so we dropped the 10% bracket, so they would be 15, 28, 31, 36, and 39.6. So across the board, everyone would see an increase in their taxes. You lose the 10% bracket, you lose the 25% bracket, the 28 goes to 31, 33 goes to 36, and 35 goes to 39.6. So it essentially, across the board, whether you're high earning or low earning, your income taxes would go up. I think that the first four brackets, the 10, the 15, the 25, and the 28, will be retained next year, no matter who wins the election, whether it's President Obama or Mitt Romney. The top two brackets, which are currently the 36 and 39.6, or scheduled to go to that from 33 and 35. I think what happens to them is really dependent upon who wins. I think if President Obama wins, he will push to have those two brackets rise. And if Mitt Romney wins, I think that he will push to have those top two brackets stay the same. Well, that brings us to the end of our first segment. We continue during the next segment. We'll continue talking about some of the things to look for in tax policy.